Hey everyone, Angelo here. Been homeless for a year now. I can finally say it. I'm so glad I accomplished it. For as hard as it's been and lonely as it's been, so was living in a home too. Really didn't make a difference. I'm wearing my prescription sunglasses. It's kind of bright. I'm not trying to do the whole Hollywood thing, man. But I was thinking about how glad I am to not worry about money anymore in a weird way. I keep my, needs like simple in a way. I still kind of get everything I want. One thing I don't do, I don't see movies out. Wish I could, but can't really afford it. But I find cheap stuff to see. Like I go to events that are cheap or free, or you donate a little money. Oh crap! I've had the headlights on. And I just thought the other day while looking at jobs on Craigslist, what do I actually want to do? Because I was looking at, some posts, it's something video or TV related, but it's like an ongoing job. So it's basically a regular job, like a full-time job or part-time. And I'm like, damn, the money's all right enough. But I'd be working like 4 or 5 days a week, and with the travel and everything, that even part-time, that's going to be like 8 hours a day. And it's going to take up so much of my time. I'll have so little left over for anything else, and it'll be so tough. And I thought, man, well, I was torn between, do I want the money or do I want to take a job? And maybe, the experience and stuff I'll like to. But do I want to lose all that time? That's the issue. I'd rather get a gig for a couple days and then be done with it and move on to the next thing and have it actually done. But then I just thought, finally, after a year of being homeless, I was thinking, well, just totally apart from the money, do I want to do this? I thought, well, no. I'd kind of like to, but that's the thing, not enough to actually want to do it. So even if there was no money involved, would I do it? I thought, no. I'm like, oh, that's a good guideline. Simple thing to do. Hardest thing to figure out for most of my life is, how much should money matter as far as what jobs I pick and, what video and film work I pick. And I thought, oh no, I should only take whatever I want to do. And that made it so simple. And it was only after this point of, being so desperate for money at times and so worried about it and going through the moments where my car was destroyed, like literally when I was crashed into and I was screaming, and I had just woken up after like an hour and a half of sleep, and I was thrown into the steering wheel. It hurt. My car was skidding down the road, and it felt, it was scary. And I was screaming, fuck, fuck. And I think I might have, I don't know if I imagined this or not, but I screamed like my car is being destroyed or something, like right when it was happening. I didn't film that part. Obviously, I didn't have my camera going. But even during that, just thinking, man, I can't even, there's no sense in trying to make myself get the energy to be worrying about the money now. Because I was seriously thinking at that point, my car is destroyed. It's going to have to be impounded somewhere. I'm going to be laid up in the hospital for months because I thought my ribs were broken. I was seriously, I was thinking like no point in holding out any hope that my ribs aren't broken. I was seriously worried at that point that I wouldn't be able to exercise for months. I'd be laid up in the hospital. I'd need surgery or something. I seriously thought, well, that's it. Just can't even make myself miserable with hoping that, or thinking about the anguish of, I'm losing my car or whatever. Just, that's it. I'm going to be in the hospital. I thought I'd have to get surgery and I'd have to rely on people's donations for a while, and maybe making videos out of the hospital. Now, people did donate. Thank you for that so much, because it's still tough, everything working out how I'm going to live. But I just realizing, you lose stuff like that. It's like, and plus the whole difficulty of the car trip across the country with my car overheating, needing repairs, and And just the whole last year of like losing the energy to worry about money and thinking, I'm not going to torture myself by looking at my bank account unnecessarily and track how much money I spend. I sort of do the behaviors I know that work, which is try and be consistent, eat healthy food, get food from the food bank. They had a ton of, now I don't know if these are all that good for me, but like all these like different kinds of protein bars and stuff. Not like protein bars, but like Lara bars. The ones with these other like, they're like flat, like rectangles that say it's like 3 egg whites, date, banana, almonds all mixed in there, and maybe like chocolate or something. And that's it. It's like just the ingredients. It's like no added preservatives or anything. I don't know how that works out because it's like this little brick of food. So I don't think, I'm sure it's not the worst thing, but it's like can't be too great for you. So I bought a ton of those because they had them. I'm like, well, I'll eat them very sparingly. Those are not meals, full meals. But I was just realizing, oh, how nice it is now. It's like having to choose, to compromise yourself when you work for money you don't want. And I realized that in a way is how being poor is like being rich. You can just choose what you want to do. In a way. And for me. So obviously I know there are poor people probably watching thinking, well, that doesn't work for me. Yeah, if you got rent and if you got medical bills and, kids, or you got to pay whatever, fees, fines, all that stuff. Yeah, that's different. So I had to be so poor I just left my home and moved into a car. And, fortunately, had a car that was pretty reliable for a while. That Honda Civic lasted about 152,000 miles. I had it from when it had 59,000 miles on it. So for 10 years. And I did replace the head gasket once, I think. And who knows if the head gasket was going bad again to cause the overheating issue. But I just stopped worrying about it. I'm so miserable trying to control it. I just had to let go. And now it's nice to think, well, even as, close as I am to hitting the max on my credit card, and I had that $1,500 car repair, and now I'm still paying for that because I had it financed, and the car was destroyed less than a month later. I had like $675 tires put on that car. Gone. Can't even make it an issue. And even though, again, I'm so close to hitting the max on my credit card and have so little money, it's like, well, what do I want to do that's good for me? Rather than just trying to scrape by all the time and thinking, well, I got to save money on this. I can't do this. So I'm miserable all the time. Just thinking, no, go do what I want to do and be reasonable about it. So I'm not going to go to like $100 show or something. Actually, I did buy tickets for Tim and Eric's world tour for my mom and I. And I think tickets for each of us were like $60 each or something. I don't remember. So that was, certainly, big expense. And I bought it for her in DC, and I'm going to see them here in LA. But it's nice just to think, well, if I go to, say, I was thinking about going to a $20 or $25 show tonight, well, I can go to that. It's reasonable enough. And if I make the most of it and try and talk to people there, sometimes at these shows I get real miserable. I don't want to talk to anybody, but try and go to this, it's a table read of unproduced screenplay. And I want to go see that with some actors and entertainers and writers that I know of and, admire. And I said, well, maybe I'll do that and just not worry about the money, not worry about how it's going to put me $25 closer to the limit of my credit card, because I just know, okay, that is very important for me to go to. So that's it. That's the only consideration. It's not an unreasonable amount of money, and it might be really important for me. I might meet people there who make connections with, and it's something I actually want to do. Like I legitimately want to do, as opposed to something, well, I don't really want to do it like a job, but I think I'll get some money from it. So that was a tough, point to get to realize, oh, okay, just do what I want. And fortunately, what I want to do is work. But in a way, it's weird. It's like, oh, that must be what being rich is like, in a way. You don't have to worry about the money. You just do what you want. And I'm not, being lazy or anything. I spent yesterday, what did I do? I filmed a video. Yeah, I filmed a video with my mom, talking to her. And then I spent most of the day, man, my ears, by the way, this is another thing. It's hard for me to have headphones on, even with the earplugs in. When the volume is so low, it felt last night like the inside of my ears had been whipped. Literally, like with a whip, with a belt or something. And like they were stinging, it hurts. Like, oh my fucking goodness, they hurt so much. But I got to do it because, you can't play the laptop speakers at the library or Starbucks or whatever. And plus, you can't hear the bass and stuff on the laptop speakers. So I have headphones that I can hear all that. And, try and pick up on any sounds that maybe don't sound right in the video or something. Usually I don't have to worry too much about that. But that is one thing about, being poor that I would like to change. But, I mean, other than that, it's just nice to realize, just do what I want. And it was, again, tough thing for a long time to figure out, but it took a long time to figure it out. Because when I was younger, I was just, barely trying to get by and stay with my parents for a long time and just get work and make a little money. And it's just nice to think, oh, well, who cares? Like, there's, in a way, nothing you can take from me. Now, obviously, there is, I do want to keep my phone and have a car. Obviously, that's important. And, be healthy and eat well. But thank goodness for the food bank. If it wasn't for that, I really don't know how I would survive. I do wonder, by the way, someone brought this up on the live stream the other day, if I could cook food on like a little gas-fueled like hot plate or something. But the problem is I don't know where that's legal. I'm really not trying to risk it by just doing it somewhere and like, if a cop tells me I can't do it or whatever, just move on. I really want to do it safely if I ever did that, but it seems like a lot of effort because then I'd have to drive somewhere far away and all that. But I don't know. If someone knows where in LA I can, or North Hollywood, Burbank, Van Nuys, all those areas, Tahunga, all that stuff, where I could do that and it's legal. Maybe it's legal a lot of places. I just don't know. Do I have to go to like a truck stop or something to do that? I don't want to have to do that. But if I how I can cook food, but again, that's messy too, and it's just a hassle. And I'm like, do all that. Like, think about it. It might take like an hour and a half just to cook stuff and clean it up and throw it away, just to have food I can cook and cook it all. It would be fun. Don't get me wrong, to make a video about it. Maybe I'll do it. Hey, if I had the money, if it really wasn't an issue, they do have a discount, like a 99-cent store where they sell these like, whatever, portable stoves, that they're not $1. It's like whatever, $20, $25, I'm guessing. I'm not sure. So it does, it costs a little bit, but I'm like, okay, well, if I ever got to the point where it's like that was an option, maybe I would. But for now, I got to prioritize my time. That's really the big thing. So it's great to just know I can work at what I want. I don't have to, like compromise myself by saying, well, it's going to personally benefit me to do this thing in a way, even though I don't really want to do the work. I would like the work, but do I really want to do it and commit to it? Or should I, only do stuff I really want to commit to? And because if I'm not working, I can always be writing or making videos. I'm always working on screenplays. I'm reading books to rework a screenplay I've been working on. And it is a little scary, going out, parking and stuff, all that, spending money on all that. But I just realized, just be smart about it, know what you're doing, and not give myself the anxiety of, making myself look at my bank account constantly, except when necessary, to check, okay, do I have any bills coming, or, do I have enough money to, last a few days? Other than that, just not worry about it. So that's something that would have never happened if I was in a house. There, I was always fucking worried about money. It was miserable. Worrying about how am I going to pay rent every month. Or I always knew I'd have the money put aside for rent, but it was more credit card minimum payment, phone bill, insurance, car insurance, and groceries. That was a big thing in Virginia, groceries, because I don't remember them having any food banks, or I never found any there. They had food pantries, and those weren't good for me because a lot of the food was unhealthy, and I couldn't take anything you had to cook anyways. So, thank goodness they got a big food bank that they're just getting more and more stuff every day there. I'm probably going to go there today. And I can eat relatively healthy. They do got salads and vegetables, and they got a kitchen there where they make tacos. So those are my thoughts on being able to live without, compromising myself for money. I can just take the jobs I want. I don't have to think, well, I got to pretend. And the other thing is, I hate myself when I lie to myself about wanting to do something I don't really believe in. So I hated myself doing that stuff and doing some work that I don't really want to. So now I don't have to make that calculation and pretend I want to, and then always, feel dishonest with myself. That's what I really hated myself over, this dishonesty with myself. So I can now just be like, I can look at a job, not even worry about the money, and think, well, is this going to work out for me? Can I calculate if this will work for the money? And a lot of the jobs, it's not going to be enough money to make any impact in my life. It's just going to alleviate some of the debt I owe on my credit card. So it's like, well, it's not even going to make an impact at all. It's not for everybody, but it's working out, reasonably well. I'd say it's, it was an important decision, and I'm glad I did it. So there you go. Like, subscribe, all that stuff.